Hello, hello, everybody. I'm back. I'm back. Yes, yes. So I am catching up with everybody after I got back from Ohio. Yes, yes. it was um, it was a pretty long and stressful period of time in Ohio. I had a lot of work that had to be done. So I was able to do a couple of live streams from the hotel. And I appreciate every one of you that joined me for those. But I'm back and yes. Hey, Adam, how are you? Thank you very much for joining me. I just today managed to get everything unpacked, um, and all the laundry and all that done from being in Ohio for a week. Um, and I'm really glad to be back home. Really glad. Um, going into the corporate environment, um, and meeting with providers and, you know, coaching, training, um, all that kind of stuff with the new coders that are coming on board. That's part of my responsibility now. So going into the corporate world, um, with all the zombie apocalypse lockdown virus that's floating around, you mask up, and it's not something that I have to do here, right? Um, but while I was gone, I'm really excited that I don't know if you remember when I did a live stream outside. I had pointed to the cabin that was in the back of the property. So that project got moved ahead while I was in Ohio. And I'm really excited about that. That will be a video coming up pretty soon. We were able, or we arranged, right, to have that cabin moved from the back of the property up to the front of the property, up here where we are. So I'll be doing a video on that, so I can catch everybody up as soon as I'm able to breathe. Hey, McRae Family Homestead, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Anyway, so that project got done while I was away, and I was pretty excited to see the cabin up here, where we are. So the cabin project, Josh is going to be doing the biggest part of that, renovating the inside of the cabin. So I'm not able to help physically with that, and we don't know what we're doing. So it's going to be kind of like a learn as you go sort of thing. We don't have anybody here that we can depend on to help figure out the ins and outs of the inside of the cabin project. So it'll be a process as we go, and learn as we go, and make mistakes and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's that's coming. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. So other than that, I've been trying to, get everything taken care of so I can get back to my regularly scheduled live streams. And because I like live streaming, I like, catching up with y'all, and I like communicating with y'all. And I feel like I've kind of been MIA for too long. So I'm pretty excited about being back home where I belong, right? Hey, Patty, how are you? Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Absolutely. So, I had mentioned that I got a dog, right? Um, it's been several months since Callie passed away, and I felt ready to have another dog. So her name is Maggie. And she is getting big. Oh my gosh, yes. We went through the process of housebreaking Maggie. There's been some accidents, but thankfully I don't have carpet. So that's really good. That's one advantage, Even when I had Callie would shed. And when you have carpet and a dog, it's not always cohesive, right? So I don't have carpet, so that's an advantage, I feel like. Anyway, she's getting big. So we're starting to work on her training, getting her accustomed to being here and knowing her boundaries. So when you have a new puppy, they don't understand the boundaries. So that's what we're working on now. And then hopefully next weekend there will be a fenced area for Maggie, so that she can go out while I'm working. Because as it is now, I have to take a break from work to take her out. So hopefully next weekend, I'm hoping that Spicy will come and help put the fence up. I'm not sure about that. Either way, if it's just me and Josh, or if Spicy's able to come and help, or my daughter is able to come and help, the fence will be going up. Some shape, form, or fashion, right? So that's in the works as well. I feel like there's a lot going on, and I feel like some of it's overwhelming, especially with the cabin project. Finishing the inside of the cabin. Oh my gosh. We had so much rain that it took forever for the circumstances to be right to get that cabin moved to the front of the property from the back there by the pond. Yeah, Adam, yes. Anyway, so hopefully he'll be able to come and help, with some of it. If not, it's still gonna happen. It just may take a little longer, right? And then so the electricity and all that is still is already done in the cabin, but the building of the walls on the inside and the plumbing, putting a shower, a bathroom, a sink, that sort of thing on the inside of the cabin is going to be fun to try to figure out, especially when you don't know what you're doing. Hey, Trying and Surviving, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me from Oklahoma. Yep. So I'm just trying to catch up. I have been missing in action. Spent a week in Ohio, and oh my gosh, going into the corporate world. Oh my gosh, I'm glad to be out of that, right? I'm glad to be back where I belong, in the little small Podunk town. Adam, Podunk. This is Podunk, right? Anyway, I did get that pig feeder, Patty. I sure did. I got it while I was in Ohio. And that's the reason why when I went, I took Josh's big truck, right? And I was able to get that and bring it back with me. So, yes. And it was free. So, that was an advantage. So, it was, I had to go anyway, and I don't like flying. I would prefer not to fly. So, I went, I drove. It was more fuel driving Josh's truck or the excursion. Either one would have been, more fuel cost than taking mom's car. And when you're driving Josh's big truck and you go to the hospital and you go to the spine center and all of that, those parking places are not built for Josh's big truck. Oh my gosh. That was a joy trying to park that huge truck. And it would have been the same if I'd have been in the excursion. The parking spots at the hospital and at the spine center and all of that are not wide. They are like for, they're congested parking areas. So it would have been the same if I'd have been in the excursion either way. It was a pretty irritating thing to try to park, right? Adam. So when I was coming home, there was, I'm trying to remember exactly, there was some sort of huge something on the interstate coming back. And I did not come back through Memphis. I was using my GPS, and it kind of rerouted me where I didn't go through Memphis on the way home, which I was really glad about. There was probably a 30-mile section of the interstate that was blocked because of whatever it was, an accident, I think. But it worked out to my advantage because it happened as I was coming through and I got rerouted. So I didn't come through Memphis on my way home. So I avoided that whole debacle, that Memphis debacle. Oh my gosh, it was just ridiculous. But I made it up there. It took me, it's a 14, Google, right? GPS says 14 hours. But when you stop and you fuel up and you grab something to eat and you make pit stops or whatever, it ends up being about, 16 hours or so. So I split the trip in half, and I split the trip in half, and I got the hotel outside of Nashville, the Comfort Inn, I think it was, and I won't make that mistake again, right? It was awful. Not worth my money. So when I was coming back, I did not stay in a hotel. I drove straight through, and I was exhausted when I got here. Yeah, I was exhausted. So I slept for probably, 10 hours or so after I got back. And coming back, you forget, right? When you are in a, I don't want to say secluded, right? Not so comfy. That's right. That's it. Exactly. When you're in a secluded or less populated area, right? In your work schedule, you work from home. You don't go out into the work environment, every day or whatever. You forget how it is driving in the country at night, and the amount of wildlife that you encounter. I'm telling you right now, Josh is very lucky that he got a truck back that was whole. I bet you I almost hit, I don't know, 5 or 6 deer coming back, after I made it through Little Rock. From Little Rock to here, it's not populated, right? You go through areas that are not populated. Deer are so, there are so many deer. Oh my gosh. And then when I made the turn at, I forget the name of the town. I took the back roads coming back. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There were several occasions where I almost plowed into deer, and not just 1 or 2, right? There was flocks of deer and herds of turkeys. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was crazy. I don't know. I didn't see any hogs though, so that was really surprising. I really expected to see more hogs, but I didn't see any. So, and I told Josh, I said, man, your truck is lucky. All those flocks of deer. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, flocks. He always messes with me. I said, it's a joke. It's a joke, right? Flocks of deer and, herds of turkey. Yeah. So when I lived in Louisiana, on the front of my, I think I had a van at that time that I hit a deer in one night. There's a little, it's probably, I don't know, this big. It's a whistler, sort of, that you can get to put on the front of your vehicle. And it's supposed to, as you're driving, it's supposed to emit like a whistle noise. And it's supposed to help with the deer. And that's when I was driving back and forth, going back and forth to work. Well, I don't have to do that now, but on the occasion that you do drive at night, those whistler things that they have at the parts house, like AutoZone and Advanced Auto and all that, those things really make a difference. They work, right? It won't necessarily scare deer away, but yes, 2 to a pack, absolutely. But it makes them look up and pay attention, right? Kind of gets their attention as you're coming through. So the next time that I go to a parts house, I think I'm going to pick up some for the vehicles that I have, Josh's truck, the Excursion, and Mom's vehicle, to put on the front of the vehicles, especially here where we are, because it's so, it's not very populated. So they work. I know, I've used them before, and I've seen the difference of having them versus not having them. They're cheap, and probably made in China, but you would not think that they would make that big of a difference, but they do. So that's something that I've got to do too. So yeah, just trying to catch up and, get my head back in the country life or whatever. And with the fence coming up, this next weekend, and the cabin project. And then I also have a cover, an RV cover to go over this RV. And then after that, I think I'm going to start shopping for another cabin. There's several places around me that have those, like the, what do you call them? Dirksen cabins. I, we've got the one that Josh is going to redo on the inside, but I think that I'm going to start planning on getting a second one to go here. And then once he finishes that, and what I can do to help him, right? I don't know anything about plumbing and finishing the inside of a cabin, but we've always done it that way. Yes, Patty, she said, yep. We've always done it that way. Try to, kind of figure it out as we go. I think it's gonna. I'm gonna look for another cabin, and I think I want to get one that is at least as big as the cabin we have, and that one is 12 by 32, and it has a porch on the front of it. Y'all have seen it before, but like I said, I'll be doing a video on it again and kind of showing you what we got going on with that. And then I think I want another one the same size, at least the same size. I would prefer, because I do the freeze drying and I do the dehydrating and all of that, I may try to get it a little bigger, like a 14 wide instead of 12. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but it's going to be at least the same size, 12 by 32. But we've got to get the supplies first. There's going to be a pretty big supply run for the things to go to install the shower and the toilet and the sink, the bathroom sink and the kitchen sink in the cabin. So that's going to take a pretty good chunk of money, but after that, it'll kind of, settle down. Say she shed 5 times real fast. Sounds like you're referring. Oh my gosh, Adam. Yeah. So, if anybody's got any advice on finishing the inside of cabins, we are watching tons of videos trying to figure out the process. As before we start on the inside of the cabin. Hey, Shelly, how are you? You are looking fantastic, madam. Fantastic. And I am working on the protein sparing modified fast bread. I don't have that technique down yet. It's a learning curve for sure. But yeah, I'm pretty excited, Adam. And it's slow going because Josh has to do all of it, with what help I can give him, which is not very much. We were talking about, and you don't think about it, we were talking about venting the plumbing system. I was like, what? What are you talking about venting? You don't vent it. Yes, you do vent it. Anyway, so we're going to, he's going to do the research and I'm going to do the research. And if I find videos or whatever that will help, then I'm going to send them to him so he can watch, as he can. Thank you so much, Shelly. Yep. Thank you very much. And if you are on YouTube and you see a video, my email is discoversustainable@gmail.com. Send me a link. It can't hurt. Like I said, we're going to try to figure this out as we go and to try to avoid catastrophe. If you see something that you think would be of benefit, I would welcome the suggestion, right? Yeah, a workshop stool, supervisor stool, yep. Well, that's about all I am is supervising. I can help some, um, but I'm old and fat, so it's limited on what I can do. Anyway, I got a couple of raised beds in, and I'm going to try to get those put together, and get started filling them with dirt. Hopefully by the next planting season, I would be able to have some gardening area made, and a chicken coop. That's in the future, because eggs are a staple, right? And having to buy eggs just irritates me, and they don't taste as good. If you have chickens, consider yourself lucky. Absolutely. And raising your own chickens so that you can have eggs and meat, um, that's a goal of mine. It something that I want to do. So I'm ready to have fresh eggs back. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. It has been pretty crazy this week. I got in whatever time it was early in the morning, and had to recoup mentally. Well, I've used the plastic swimming pool for a raised bed. It didn't work out very well, Adam. It could have been the soil that I had. Hey, Donna Joe, how are you? Yes, absolutely. But the raised beds, the bottom part of the raised beds, with the chicken coop, the chicken compost or whatever that they make, is a benefit also. And then I'm steady working toward my goal of having my fresh eggs back. I'm telling you, it's one thing that I miss the most is having fresh eggs. I hate buying them. I hate it. But it is what it is, right? Oh my goodness. Yes, I have been watching the updates on Ida. And thank you for mentioning that, Patty, because I had meant to say something about that. If you are in the path of Ida, I have prayers going up for you. Hopefully you all will remain safe. I don't think it's going to affect us here in South Arkansas as much as it originally was. We may get rain. I'm sure we'll get rain, but the brunt of it is going to be to the south. So all you friends out there, be safe. And if there's anything that I can do, please let me know. One of my favorite YouTubers, the New Orleans Gardener, is going to be impacted by that storm. So, keep praying for safety for everybody, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Absolutely. Prayers going up for everybody in the path of it. For sure. But I'm trying to get settled And you know, it's crazy when you spend that much time away. Oh my gosh. And Josh kept Maggie while I was gone, and she did fairly well for him. Um, you're all sky warmed up. Yep. Yeah. So Josh kept Maggie while I was gone, and she did fairly well for him. He's not used to dealing with a puppy, and she's getting so big. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So when I got back, I think it was last Sunday, um, we got into the camo camper, and I was looking for my antenna, Adam. I was looking for my 2-meter antenna and my G5RV antenna, and my 2-meter antenna was broken in the camo camper. So I've got to figure out what if it can be fixed, or if I have to get a new 2-meter antenna. And then my G5RV antenna for my HF rig. This is ham radio, y'all, for the ones of you that don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I have a HF rig, and then I have a 2-meter ham radio. Yes, it was broken. I think that whenever we were pulling the camo camper from Tennessee to here, something shifted and it broke. So I got to figure out if it can be fixed or if I have to get another one. So I was in there, and I can't find now the G5RV antenna. For those of you that don't know, ham radio antenna, it's basically wire. So it was coiled up and put into a like a box, because you can roll it up, right? And I've got 13 acres here to string that G5RV antenna up, so I should be able to get really good signal. But I'm not able to find it. There was a shift, and all of that stuff has to be pulled out of the camo camper in order for me to be able to find it. So the 2-meter antenna is out of commission until I can figure out if it can be fixed or if I have to get a new one. And then the G5 or the G5RV ham radio antenna is missing. I can't find it. So yeah. So that'll be something coming up at some point, I hope. Anyway, a massive dipole. Yep. So I'm not able to get on the air right now with my ham radio, but it'll be coming eventually. Eventually, I'll have a way to do that, but. 2-meter mobile petered out, so I'm using my HT radios on my antenna. Well, that's good. Yeah, it works. You know, it works. The 2-meter radio that I had was a mobile, and I had it inside, and it was I had a power source that you could plug in, and it was hooked to that. It was a mobile unit. Worked just fine. It worked absolutely just fine. So, you know, that's absolutely a way to go. Yep. So I'm not able to keep up with the radio waves at the moment. I mean, you can go online, and, you know, catch airwaves or whatever, but you know, it's not the same, right? It's not the same being online and listening to it as it is to be on your radio, communicating real time. It's just not the same. But anyway, the HF rig is I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, Adam. Yes. Yeah. So all that is online. You can do it online, but I'm just like, yeah. It's online. Yeah. Anybody can do it, but actually having the know-how to actually turn on a radio and broadcast and transmit, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and you never know when, cell signal and all that's going to go down. So phones and electricity and all that. Oh yeah. Yaesu. Yep. The 2 meter was a Yaesu. The HF rig was a Kenwood, but it's an older model Kenwood. It's not one of the new fancy smancy ones. It's an older model, but it's still an HF rig. And the 2 meters are Yaesu. So thanks for reminding me, Adam. Yep. So I'll have to find all that. I can't find it. The G5RV. And then I'll have to figure out what to do about my 2 meter, which the 2 meter, is okay for local stuff. But the G5RV, that's for long distance, reach out and touch somebody. So I'm hoping I can find it, which, granted, if I can't find it, they're not that expensive. But knowing how to put it up and, transmit and receive, yeah. That's where it's at, in my opinion. Anyway. I didn't mean for this to turn into a ham radio discussion, but I'm just saying. Yep. So, trying to catch up, trying to get, settled. I feel like, and everybody up in Ohio wanted me to relocate. Come to Ohio. You don't need to be down there in Arkansas. I'm like, negative, If I wanted to come by myself north, the property in Tennessee is still ours. It has septic, it has electric. That's where I would go. I would not go north of Tennessee. But anyway, being up there by myself is kind of stupid. Right, Adam? Absolutely. Adam is a ham nerd. Yes, he is. That's all right. I am too, So, it's okay. It is all right. Yeah. Big country roads. Oh my gosh. Those flipping deer that come out in front of me coming back from Ohio, they would have been history. They would have been history in Josh's truck too, because Josh has a big old bumper on the front of his truck. But, Josh's truck is pretty large. And I realized when I was coming back that it's hard to see when you're short. It's not a short people truck. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Yeah, pretty crazy. Anyway, I'm glad to be back and settled and can move forward. Oh my gosh. It was exhausting. And I haven't even put any videos out or anything like that. So pretty crazy. But hopefully I can, I can start letting y'all know what's going on. I like if I have something that I'm doing, It's not that I'm bragging or I'm showing off, right? It's how we do things and how we figure out how to do things when you don't have the technical knowledge on how to do it. Like the cabin project, right? Finishing the inside of the cabin, you know, and asking opinions. Okay, what are your thoughts? And yep, absolutely. Absolutely, Adam. When I get off work and I'm through with the dialing, I'm through, right? I can go back to my hey y'all. Yep. But not knowing how to do something and then showing how we figure it out. And it's strictly for women that are out there that are, you know, that don't have a crew behind them showing that it can be done. That's the whole purpose, right? That is the whole purpose. And connecting with all my friends. All my YouTube friends. I like having y'all in my life. Sure do. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. All I got going on. Like I said, I just today was able to get everything unpacked from being in Ohio a week. Yep. I mean, I had a fancy smancy hotel, but golly, it's like it is not the same as being at home in your own bed. It's just not the same. Right? Yep. Absolutely, Adam. Yep. And I had a couple of people while I was in Ohio meeting all these people that I converse with daily in WebExes and online meetings and all that. And you meet them in person, you know, they're like, are you in a camper? It's like, yes, I am in a camper, you know. That's irrelevant, you know. Kind of a transition. But I'm hoping that with the renovation of that cabin and then getting another cabin, I'm hoping that this camper, which is huge, by the way. I mean, you have seen my videos of the walkthrough of this camper. It's huge. I'm hoping that it can be a place for my kids when they come, and then you know, with the renovation of that cabin and then the addition of another cabin, not be in a camper, you know. Eventually, anyway, we'll see how it goes, right? Don't know what I'm doing and probably going to screw it up a time or two, but I'm making an effort. And that's what it's all about, you know. When you don't make an effort, right, you kind of don't have the right to complain. Yes, a guest house type thing. Yep. So with a camper, right, the worst, I'll address that in just a second, Patty. So the worst thing for a camper is the roof, or the most precarious thing about a camper is the roof. So this camper is huge, right? I think it's 36 feet long, and it has this huge slide out on it. So is it tomorrow? No, I think it's Tuesday. Tuesday, they are coming to install an RV cover over this fifth wheel RV. And the reason why is because it won't be moved. It's too big to, you know, pull behind a truck to go for a weekend camping trip. It's too big for all that. It takes a lot of force and a lot of truck to pull this camper because it's so big, right? So it is going to be permanent here. So we're going to have an RV cover over the top of it, so that it can protect the roof, because eventually that's one of the weakest parts of an RV, is the roof. So we're going to put an RV cover over it to protect it, because of the amount of money that was paid for this camper. So I want to make sure that it's protected and it won't leak or whatever. Because eventually all campers will leak if the roof is not maintained. So putting an RV cover over the top of it, is going to help protect it. So the wood stove, Patty, the wood stove will be put, I'm undecided if I want to put it inside of the cabin or if I want to put it, on the porch area of the cabin, or we have an outside area, that we made like a patio area. The canopy that we had over the outside patio got destroyed. And it was one of those canvas canopies. So, Josh was asking me after they do the RV cover over the fifth wheel, if it would be, or what I thought about putting, a permanent cover over the patio area that we built outside, because that's where we have the grills. We've got the charcoal grill. We've got the gas grill. I've got my outdoor cooker. All of that is out there on the patio area that we built. So it can go out there, but I don't want it in the weather. So if we put a permanent roof over the patio area, it can go out there and can be cooked in. So I'm hoping that, that will work out. But somewhere, that's right, a grilling and chilling. That's right. Yep. I need to make me a sign to hang up out there. Grilling and chilling. Absolutely. But it's going to go somewhere out there. And it's stored right now. So it's not in the weather. It wasn't a high dollar, it only cost me I think it was $700 that I paid for it. I think, I can't remember, but it's, it's not as big as the one that FLP had in his cabin, but it's along the same lines, it's a smaller version. So I think it's just fine. Yep. I think it's just fine. Absolutely, Patty. Absolutely. And being able to cook in that wood cook stove is going to be awesome. Yep. And I'm looking forward to that. Sure am. That's right. Yep. That is right. Yeah. It's pretty cool, Patty. It's pretty cool. And what that old saying about nothing is better than a campfire hot dog, the wood cook stove, the food that you're able to cook on a wood cook stove, it just tastes better, Yep, it does. It does. So that's what I got. That's what I got on my agenda for the next little while. The RV cover's coming Tuesday. And Josh fixed my water heater in the fifth wheel, so it's working fine. So we don't have to replace it because I bought a on-demand water heater for the fifth wheel, but he figured out what was wrong with the one that's in here, so he didn't have to replace it. So I have, and that on-demand water heater for that I got for the fifth wheel was $600. So I got it if I need it, you know, but he didn't have to replace it. So I was really glad about that. Yep. And the water heater for the fifth wheel is propane. But so the replacement that I got for it is also propane, but it's on demand. So he didn't have to replace it. So I was pretty glad about that. You know, he's a pretty good old boy. We figured out what the problem was. So I was glad. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and close out this chat, and I'm thankful for every one of you that come in and hang out with me. I've still got to go buy groceries for the week. With doing the low carb stuff, it's mostly meat that I pick up. So I still got to go buy groceries for the week. Yep. I don't buy so much potatoes and all that, and rice and all that, but I have it just in case. Yep, I do have it. Anyway, y'all, I think that's all I got for you today. I appreciate every one of you, and I'll be doing a video of the cabin so y'all can see what's going on with it. And like I said, if you have any suggestions of YouTubers and any of that that you think that would be of benefit to us, my email is discoversustainable@gmail.com. Drop me a link, and it will be much appreciated. All right, y'all, that's it for me. And if you're in the path of Hurricane Ida, please be safe, and know that know that I am praying for you, and keep a watch out for your neighbors. And if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Prayers are going up for everybody in the path, and everybody stay safe. All right, talk to you in the next video. Bye, y'all.